there, today I am in my garden and I'm going to plant some more flowers. Also, it is hot. It's probably 11 a.m. and I don't know, it's probably 90 degrees or 80 something degrees already, but it's very, very humid and I want to get this taken care of. But I also wanted to say that it's July. I am in Garden Zone 8B and it is not too late to plant flowers. Today I want to show you just an idea of a few seeds that there's countless seeds, and you know, it's countless flowers, and it depends on where you live. So I live, like I said, I live in Garden Zone 8B, so it's like subtropic humid climate, very warm. But our last frost date is usually around first frost date is usually around the first week of November. It just depends. I mean, sometimes it could be, it's been on Halloween before, but it's usually like a quick frost and then, you know, nothing that stays. So even at that time, if we've had a frost, I would just get frost cloth and cover up my flowers, uncover them the next day, they were fine. But again, so you have to check your garden zone. But some things that I have planted later in the season, and one or two of these I haven't, but the trick I think at this point is making sure you plant in, if you want like these particular flowers, you plant somewhere where you're going to get a lot of sun. You make sure they get lots of water, and they have a short like germination period or short growing, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like it doesn't take very long for them to bloom. So like an example, these I planted last year, probably in August, and it's still July. So I planted these in August, and I will see if I can find a picture of these. But these did really, really well. I think they were still blooming in October in my garden. So I've got a few planted right now. They're finally starting to take off, and I can expect these to, like if I planted these again this month or next month, I would have even more grow in the garden. So I may do that. I may plant some more. I don't have any more right now, but this one says 70 to 80 days to bloom, so that's under 2 months. So I would look for something like that. If you still have like a later frost date, again, just check that. These straw flowers say 70 to 90 days, so I don't know, that's 3 months before you could see a bloom. It's really just going to depend on July to August, September. So that'll be like mid-October for me. I mean, possibly. I've already got some of these planted. This one is a little bit longer. I would probably try to look for something under 80 days. Example, these zinnias. Zinnias are great, but you need to find some that have like a shorter blooming time period. I saw that on here. Oh, this one says 75 to 80 days. So that one's kind of pushing it into 3 months. So July to August, September, October. That would be mid-October for me if I still planted these. But I planted these like a few weeks ago, and on one side of the garden they were about 6 inches tall, and on the other side of the garden they're about 8 or 10 inches tall. So they are growing pretty fast. And I have not really had to do a lot to them, just water them. They got sun, that's it. Here's the zinnia variety. This is burpee. I didn't plant these this year, but this one has 55 to 60 days. So you can still plant zinnias. You can just look up different brands. Like I have botanical interest seeds here. Let's see. These are Sweet Yards. I got these on Amazon. These are Johnny seeds. I love Johnny seeds. I really love burpee, and these are burpee. So just look on the seed pack, like these zinnias say 55 to 60 days to bloom. That's what I was trying to say earlier. So look for something that says like a shorter time period. Make sure they get full sun. Make sure they get water. And I just dropped my whole pack of beans on the ground. I feel like I'm talking really fast. Anybody else do that? I hadn't even had caffeine today, so I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, talking too fast. Let me take a breath. Okay, Cosmos. I don't have the time to bloom on this pack, but I know for a fact that I have planted Cosmos like really late in the season. Last year I had some that I planted maybe in July or August, and I had them all the way through October, because I have photos of that where the bumblebees were just everywhere. I had bumblebees all over. Not these, but they were botanical interest, but they were like a dark red. They were so pretty. Okay, these are what I'm going to plant today. These say 60 to 70 days, so that's under 2 months. These so far where I have planted them are growing really fast. So there's a lot of seeds in this pack too. This is from Sweet Yards. I got these on Amazon. It's my first year growing these. Really, none of my other sunflowers have been very successful this year. I'm not sure why. The birds, I think, have eaten a lot of them, and maybe squirrels, or I don't know. It's weird. I usually have sunflowers that are like 10, 12, 15 feet tall. Not this year. So, okay. So anyway, I'm gonna plant these today. The areas that I've grown these in, or growing these in, I put them in a container last week. And then, or maybe 2 weeks ago, and they have grown pretty fast. I've got another area in the garden, well, on the side of my house where I planted them, and they are probably 3.5 feet tall. It says they get 2 feet, 3 feet tall, but these are really pretty. So this is what I'm going to plant today quickly, because it is really, really hot, and I am not in the mood to be like sweating. More thing, these say I have not planted a lot of vegetables this year. I have planted a watermelon, I have planted a pumpkin, I have planted beans. I plant carrots in the fall, and I don't have a whole lot of experience planting vegetables, but I'm, gonna work on that, and maybe this fall and winter try to plant something and see what happens, just for fun. But we have a lot of pests here, and although I would love to grow more food, it just depends on what's going on in my life, is if I have the energy to battle like pests and whatever. So anyway, I did plant these 2 weeks ago, and they're pretty big. I mean, they're like probably 2 or 3 inches tall already, and I feel like when I come out here and look at them overnight, they're bigger, like overnight. It's crazy. That's how sunflowers are. So these say 50 days to harvest. That's a burpee garden bean. I got these at Target. So anyway, yeah, you could still look to see if there's any vegetables like beans or like warm season vegetables that you could plant right now. So the thing I was going to say about these, I'm going to have to like get moving too, because the area that I have to plant these in is very hot, and I brought my hat, but I just am not in the mood to be like sweating, and I don't know. So the area that I'm going to plant these in, the area behind me, my perennials right here behind me, I had to cut a lot of the daisies back this week because they're just kind of dying off, and I don't know if they're going to bloom again. It's my first year having Shasta daisies. Some of the black-eyed Susans I cut back, and then some of the echinacea I had to cut back because the seed part was looking just kind of rough. I'm trying to save the seeds over here. I don't know how that's going to work out for the echinacea, but anyway, yeah, there's an area behind me where there's zinnias planted. I don't like how they look. They just started off really slow. It was like my second time planting there. I don't know, but we had cut a limb down on this tree over here beside me, and now that area is getting more sun, so these may take off. So I'm going to plant these, put down some garden soil, plant some of these just kind of in a little, not the whole entire area, and see if they start to come up. And then if they do, I may come back and plant some more next week. That would give me 2 months. So that would be August, September. I would have sunflowers probably blooming through September and maybe in October. Or I could succession plant some this week, plant some next week, plant some the next week, and then as other things start to die off in the garden, I could come back and plant something like this that blooms in 2 months and have flowers in September and October. So yep, that's what I'm gonna do. This is my these are my zinnias and cosmos black-eyed Susans. I have some more zinnias coming up in basil and straw flowers. This is the area that I planted probably first, and these are the daisies that I cut back in the echinacea. Maybe since these are lower, these will get more sun. I had some zinnias planted right here that really did not take off, but I think if I pull up kind of like a little patch right here, I can plant these sunflowers, and then, or I may end up just removing all of it except the center and right here, and planting these sunflowers just so I'll have something pretty growing in the in this bed. I just had a thought. I was thinking about planting these, and they should get plenty of sun and germinate and start growing, but just in case, I'm not going to pull all the zinnias in this little area because these were the biggest ones. That's why I left these. These were the bigger ones. So I'm going to like plant a patch of sunflowers right here, and then just kind of through this center, and then water them this week. They'll get some rain, and then if they germinate, then I'll kind of determine if I want to pull any more of these zinnias. This side before I get too hot. If you haven't watched before, I just have a variety of things. I have some dahlias, however you say it. I say dahlias right here that are coming up. You can see this one, really pretty. If it'll focus. Yeah, so I have those growing. These are the queen lime zinnias. They're getting pretty big. I have beans, those beans that are getting ready to come up this trellis. And then I have some sunflowers. There's a sunflower. I have some Mexican sunflowers, my elephant ears, which I talk about every week. These are the little mini versions of the sunflowers that I'm gonna plant today. So those will be, those I think I planted 2 weeks ago. I've got some more Mexican sunflowers. And then this is just a variety of zinnias and cosmos. So I'm gonna get started and plant these before it gets too hot. So much for not getting hot. It's hot. And sometimes when you garden in heat, you just have to take a break, sit down, drink some water. Makes sense. The ground is really compact right here, like super compact. It's like hard floor, solid floor. So that's probably why the zinnias and cosmos, that's one of the reasons that they really did not grow too well right there. So I took my little pitchforky thing. I don't know if it's called a pitchfork. It's not a broad fork. I don't know. We'll just call it a pitchfork. And so took that, jumped on it, then lifted the soil up. That'll help some air and water get down into it. It's heavy clay. I've added garden soil on top of it. Now I'm going to plant those sunflower seeds and then just water it, and that's it. I planted the sunflower seeds behind me. I pulled out a little strip, like, kind of like, wait, let me think. Let's do it backwards. Like this. I pulled out a little strip of zinnias that really weren't growing successfully. They were just short and they should be a lot taller. So I pulled those out and broke up the soil a little bit with a garden fork. I looked on the label. It's actually called a garden fork. Broke that up, added some garden soil, planted the small dwarf sunspot sunflower seeds. Already watered these, and now I'm going to wait and just see if they germinate and start to grow and start to take off. If they don't grow in this soil, I'll know it's the soil. So other stuff is growing there just fine, like the perennials behind me. They don't care. Compact clay soil, who cares? They grow. But other things, it just depends on the year. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll share some more videos over here of other things I have done in my garden if you would like to check those out. So thank you.